Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Cooking with Joe at Smokin Joe's Barbecue. Guys, today we're going to cook some ribs. Got a couple of racks here. These were full spares. I've already trimmed them down. They've been sweating and sitting with the rub for about 30 to 45 minutes or so. I want to tell you what I put on these. I put my homemade rub, my go-to rub that I always put on my ribs and chicken. It's the same rub that I use, but then I also put a layer of Heath Riles pecan rub. This has a good sweet flavor to it. I think it's going to add a good flavor profile to the ribs as well. I trimmed these down. I do have a full competition style cook video already out there. I'll put a link to on this video so you guys can catch that to see how to trim this rack of spare ribs into a St. Louis cut. So guys, today we're gonna put these on the Gateway drum smoker. I'm gonna cook them for 2 hours. I'll show you the video of that once I put them in. The drums are up and rolling at 300 degrees. I will be using a couple of new, actually just one new glaze from Kosmos Barbecue that I want to try out. I'm gonna try my old trusty on one of these, and then I'm gonna try Kosmos Q on one of these. We do have a competition coming up in Lubbock here pretty soon. So want to obviously put our best foot forward and put the best rack in front of the judges. So stay tuned, guys. All right, guys, welcome back. So we got the Gateway right at 300 degrees. We did fill the basket about halfway filled with B&B's lump charcoal, and we also used about 4 chunks of the pecan wood from Western. Let me show you this again. Pull the back store up, but it is Western pecan. Just regular lump, and we got 4 of those lumps in here. The Gateway's again up to temperature, guys. So we're going to throw our racks in there, and I do have the diffuser plate in there. And guys, on these ribs, you know, when you set them down on the grate, you almost want to shape them, okay? Because it's going to cook that way. And the nicer the ribs do hold their shape, the better product that you're going to turn in. Okay, you can see where I had my finger there, guys. Just kind of pat that down, because that will affect the overall appearance of the ribs. Make sure they're nice and straight on the rack, and it's looking good again. So I'm going to be spritzing these about every 15 minutes or so, guys. So we'll catch up at that point. Stay tuned. All right, folks, we're about 45 minutes into this cook, and we've been spraying every 15 minutes or so. And about 15 more minutes, guys, I'm going to pull these things off and go ahead and I'll show you the process on what I do to wrap those. So getting a little bit of pullback on the bone, as you can see. And again, once we wrap them, these things are going to pull back really nice. So we'll catch up as soon as I start wrapping, so stay tuned. All right, guys, we're back. So just pull these ribs off. They've been in the smoker for about an hour. Again, I spritzed every 15 minutes. I'm going to tell you what I do. My next process. Using regular unsalted butter. I mean, my rubs already have salt, guys, so I don't want to put any more salt than the rubs already have. So I put a little bit of butter, 4 pats of butter, put some honey on the bottom, just like that. Then you grab some brown sugar, just a little bit on the bottom, a little bit on the bottom, just like this, okay? And turn the ribs upside down, okay? Really nice color. And I'm going to repeat my process at this point. So 4 little pats of butter, some honey, giving you guys all my secrets. All right, a little bit of brown sugar, just like so. To this, I'm also going to add a little bit more of the Heath Riles pecan rub, just a little bit like that on the foil. Okay, and I'm going to put some pineapple juice. I like to use pineapple juice. A lot of people like to use apple juice. I like to use pineapple juice. I've used apple juice as well. You can use beef broth. You can really use whatever liquid you want to use. Okay, at this point, just do a simple wrap. Okay, you got to be careful so that you don't poke through the rib bone, so be careful with it. Just carry the foil all the way to the edge, bring it back, just like so, and then wrap your foil over. Again, be gentle with it, guys, because you don't want to puncture the foil. Okay, so these are going to go back into the gateway, bone side up, just as you see it here. Again, the meat is facing down. So I'm going to do this to the other rack as well, and I'm going to put them back inside the gateway drum smoker for about 30 minutes, and we'll catch up at that point, so stay tuned.
Yeah. He's counting.
All right, guys, so we're back. We're 30 minutes wrapped now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take these ribs out of the foil, and these things have got to be like super tender. Look at these bad boys, okay? So guys, very carefully grab this rack of ribs. Just going to place it over here. I'm going to wrap this up, throw it in the trash. Okay, I'm gonna put these ribs right on the plate. Looking really good. Smell amazing, by the way. Oh, look at that. These bad boys have been in a sauna of goodness. Look at that. All right. So guys, the purpose of this video was to compare my go-to glaze, if you will. What I'm doing here is I'm going to use some of the Kosmos Q rib glaze for the very first time. Pretty excited about that. It's got some really good kick. I did mix it with a little bit of barbecue sauce you have here. Okay, so I'm going to put the Kosmos Q glaze on one of the ribs, just like this. Make sure you put enough of this glaze on there. Right out of the gate, I can tell you that this Kosmos Q really shines. I mean, look at this. I feel like Picasso right now. Okay, it's nice and thin, guys, so it's not going to give you any brush stroke marks or anything like that. I mean, these ribs just look wet. Okay, so that's a Kosmos Q. And the next one, I'm going to use my go-to glaze from home. Just my homemade. This is a little bit thicker, so you might see some brush strokes, but I like this glaze because the brush strokes do blend in with each other. Not as much as the Kosmos right out of the gate, I can tell you that. Okay, get the bones, get the sides, make sure you got enough of this. Oh, look at that. So to that, guys, I'm also going to add a little bit more of the Heath Riles pecan rub, just a little bit on the top. Just a little bit, just a small little shake. Just like a finishing dust, if you will. And I'm going to add the same thing to both racks. Just like that, guys. So I'm going to let these set for maybe 15-20 minutes or so. We'll see what they look like, so we'll take over at that point. Stay tuned, guys. All right, guys, we're back, and the ribs have been sitting for about 5 to 10 minutes, and they are looking amazing. I did tent them after I pulled them out just to keep them warm and keep the moisture, let the moisture work back into the meat. This rack down here is my go-to homemade rub, and this is the Kosmos Q. This is the Pineapple Heat rib glaze up on the top. So we're going to slice them in. I'm sorry, my go-to sauce and glaze. Now the rubs that I used again is my homemade rub, okay, and I topped it off with some of the Heath Riles pecan rub, and I glazed them a couple of times, and this is the final product. So I'm going to go ahead and cut into them. We're going to cut. I'm here with my buddy Chris, and we're going to cut about a rib a piece, somewhere in the middle here. And the best thing to do, guys, is try to find where your bones are at. A lot of people like to turn these over, but what happens, guys, is you lose that nice shine on your ribs. So it's better if you just kind of figure out where your bones are at, and cut at that point. Okay. So I'm gonna slice this one right here. Okay, nice clean cut. I probably wouldn't use this for a competition. Okay, but somebody will eat that. And figure out where your bone is here, where your next bone is. Somewhere right here. Okay. There you go. Nice clean cut. If you can, these rib bones aren't the straightest that I've seen, guys, but you get the picture here. Let's cut one more rib. Okay. Again, these are my go-to glaze and sauce, and I'm going to cut one rib from the Kosmos Q rack as well. Again, find your bone and try to cut right in the middle of the meat, guys. That way your bone's right in the middle of your rib. Right here. And these things are still really, really hot. Okay, here's my bone. Here's my bone here. I use my thumb as a guide. Okay, so somewhere around right here. That should be good. So nice clean cuts. I gotta tell you, I'm really liking the Kosmos Q, the glaze. I'm liking the glaze on both of them. But what I would do in the competition, guys, is I would use, again, some of the glaze that I had. You can see the really nice smoke ring that these ribs got. I would use some more of my glaze and get the sides. Okay, get the sides of these ribs. Again, these judges, they do eat with their eyes first, and it's got to look good. It's got to look appealing to them. All right, so I'm gonna get the Kosmos Q glaze. Pick up this rib. Again, nice little smoke ring, and sauce the sides, just like that. Real simple. This Kosmos Q's glaze, guys, it's a little thinner than mine, and as soon as you cut it, the glaze starts to work into the meat, so it's pretty nice. So we're gonna, again, we've already cut these up. We're gonna give these a shot and let you know what we think, so stay tuned. All right, guys, I'm here with my buddy Chris with Bushmaster Barbecue, and we're gonna give these ribs a try and let you know what we think. And I got to tell you, Chris, I think whichever one we like here is the one that we go with in Lubbock.
I think so.
We're going to competition, guys, and we're not traveling to lose. We're traveling to win this thing. So
yeah.
Let's give these a shot. This is we'll go with my my go-to glaze first. You want to grab one of them?
Yes, sure.
And
nice meaty rib, dude.
Yeah, really meaty, guys. Nice smoke ring. Let's go ahead and give these a shot.
Got everything in my face?
Yeah.
No.
It's all over your face.
It's all right.
Really juicy, tender, nice bite through. Let's give this another bite. Oh, baby.
Good job, man. Perfectly cooked.
Show them that. Two, just bite through.
I'm gonna get one more, dude.
Yeah. I gotta tell you guys that's a great rib. You know, believe it or not, it's not as spicy as I thought it was going to be. Got really good smoke flavor. Again, we used B&B charwood, and we used some pecan lump wood just to add that little extra smoke. Thank you, sir. So guys, these ribs were ready in 2 hours and 7 millilights later. And I'm going to take a swig just to clean my palate.
Yeah.
So 2 hours on the gateway drum. You guys saw the entire process. Now let's dive into the Kosmos Q glaze that we used. Again, really nice shine, really good looking rib, guys. Let's give this a shot.
I have a winner.
You know, guys, we both tried this Kosmos Q Pineapple Heat out of the bottle and thought it had some zit to it. I mean, it was a little spicy.
Tart, man.
And
but it's not over spicy. Like a lot of people like come to me about glazes, like, you know, what glaze you use. Like everybody sees the word heat, habanero, jalapeno, and you guys get scared. Don't worry about it being over spicy. It's not over spicy. And we did cut this with a commercial grade barbecue sauce, just to give it equal color to the one that Joe's original sauce. But yeah, I mean, like, don't be scared of it. I don't think at all.
No. And again, Chris was right. We added, you know, my homemade Glaze does have barbecue sauce, so I wanted to equal the playing field, or level the playing field, if you will. Because I guarantee you, if I just use this by itself, it would look like a glazed rib. But the barbecue sauce definitely gives it a really nice mahogany color. You guys can see this. Okay, so again, guys, I'm really impressed with both. I think both ribs are really good. My ribs, not as spicy as I'd like it to be, and not as sweet as I'd like it to be. The Kosmos Q is amazing. It's got the right amount of heat and the right amount of sweet. And
what are you thinking?
I'm thinking in this comparison, I'm going with the Kosmos.
Okay.
I've used my Glaze for several years, guys. Excuse me. And I really like it. But it's good to try something new.
Yeah. And
you don't know what's out there until you try it. And I would definitely recommend that you try the Kosmos Q Pineapple Heat. What about you, Chris?
No, definitely. Like Joe said, kind of a rule of thumb as far as glazes go. I usually cut mine a quarter, so I use a quarter of glaze to 3/4 of barbecue sauce, whatever it is you like. That's kind of my ratio.
Mm-hmm.
Or what I personally do is I'll personally set my sauce separate, and then I'll apply my glaze. And a lot of times I'll even cut my glaze with an apple juice or fruit juice. But either way you go, you're gonna be a winner. It all comes down to personal preference. If you're cooking KCBS, I would personally go more with the Kosmos, just because it does, like Joe said, it provides a sweeter balance, which is kind of what these guys are looking for. But if I was doing IBCA, I would definitely go with Joe's rib glaze for sure.
Yeah.
I've competed in both, and I always find myself going back and forth. I don't cook the same glaze I do IBCA. I think we talked about that, as I do KCBS. But KCBS, for sure, Kosmos, IBCA, Joe's Glaze. If he wants to give you the tip or the recipe, that's on him.
Yeah, that's a secret one, guys.
I know what it is.
I think there's only one guy. Well, my wife knows what it is, obviously.
Yeah.
And Chris
But
is
she's
the
not
only
a guy, so.
Yeah.
There's one guy.
Yeah, my wife knows what's in there. And
Yeah.
there's the only guy in this world that knows what I put in the my glaze, my sauce, is Chris. But I do like that we can now play around with two different flavor profiles, depending on the contest and where we're at.
And the farther east you go, the sweeter you go. The farther west you go, I would go a little bit less.
Yeah. So, guys, Kosmo, I think you got a good thing going with your sauces. I'm glad I ordered these. I ordered, I think, 12 bottles of different flavors and stuff. And hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please share and subscribe to my channel.
Like and subscribe.
Yeah. Thanks for watching, guys.
See
We'll
ya.
see you next time.